Steve Cassidy here, and I want to talk today a bit about Python data types and some gotchas that I've noticed students are getting confused by in previous years. So I wanted to try and say a little bit that might hopefully help you on the way. So in Python, I've just got a little example application here that I've written in Bottle, but I want to just use it to illustrate a few things that we're going to do. I've got two kinds of data here. I've got a data structure here that is a list of movies, and each item in the list, so we can see it's a list because it's got these square brackets around it. Each item is a dictionary, and you can see it's a dictionary because it's got the curly braces. And a dictionary is something that associates a key, in this case title, with a value, Black Panther, title, game night, and so on. So we've got a list of these things. And then I've got another data structure here, names, which is a list again. You can see the square brackets around it. And this is just a list of strings. So there's a number of strings that are the titles of these movies in that data structure. And I'm just in this little example program, I'm just passing these into a template, and so I'm going to use these in the template to construct a page. So this is a very simple Bottle application. It's the idea is that this is something that you're probably going to be doing later, or something like this. And so in my page template here, I've got a very simple structure, and I've just got the title of the page, but then I want to include my list of names of movies. Okay, so here are the movies I'm saying, and I'm just going to say names because that's the variable name here that I'm passing into the template. So I want the movies to appear there. So let's see how that appears. And I'm running my application here, so we can switch over to Chrome and see, and we refresh it, and what we see is this. Now what you can see are here are the movies, and there's the list of movies. Now you can see it's a list, right? So I have the square brackets and I have the quotes and commas between these things. So it looks just like it looked when I typed that in the code just here, right? It's got the same kind of format. But when you're presenting it in a web page, you probably don't want it to appear like that. At best, you want maybe they would appear in quotes, but certainly not with the square brackets. And so I've seen a lot of students coming looking very confused about this and saying, well, how do I get rid of the square brackets? How do I get rid of the quotes? Because I don't want those. And the clue comes in understanding the data structures that you are actually working with. We're working with a list here, and so when we said put the value of the list into the web page at this point, Python and Bottle did exactly that and put the value of the list, which is a list. The value of that thing names is a list, and so it is just inserted into that point. And so it prints it just the way it would understand. It doesn't know any other way to print lists, right? What you really want to do, if what you want is to see all the names in a row or in a paragraph, say, nicely formatted, then you're going to need to look at the structure of the list. You're going to need to do something to each of the individual things in the list rather than treating it as a whole. And so the natural thing to do is to look at a for loop. Okay, so in the template here, we do a for loop like this for name in names, and then instead of names we have a name, and then we have an end. And so now we can restart our application. Let's just restart that and refresh. Oh, we got an error. It's always good when you get an error when you're doing a video. Name is not defined. Oh, right. For name in name. Okay, for name in names, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Okay, so kill that. Okay, and refresh. Okay, so now we have a different output. We've got all of the names, and we've gotten rid of the quotes, right? We've gotten rid of the square brackets. We've got rid of the quotes around the individual names. Unfortunately, we've also not got any separator between the names, so we can't see where they are. So maybe I want to put a comma after that name and see what that does. And now I have a comma after them. You notice over here I've got a comma after the last one as well. That's a little tricky case, so I won't go into the solution for that just now. But I've now got what I need, because I have understood that what I am dealing with is a list and that I need to deal with the individual elements in that list one at a time. We can do a similar thing for our dictionary lists. So here you've got our dictionaries. So remember, we passed in also this thing movies, which is this list of dictionaries. So if I modify my code just to deal with the list of dictionaries, then what I see is this awful mess of stuff here, right? And so I can go and say, well, I'll use the same trick. And look at the individual movie within there. So let's restart. And okay, it doesn't get a lot better because now I've just got each individual movie, right? So maybe I need to again think, well, this thing here is, what does it look like? It looks like a dictionary. So remember, it's a Python data structure. Which Python data structure is it? It's a dictionary. I need to actually treat it as a dictionary, and let's say I want to say the title of the movie followed by movie income in millions of dollars, right? So that's dollar movie income, and then a comma. So I am treating it as a dictionary. Oh, look, that doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? All right. That's interesting. Oh, right. Why didn't that work? Because one of my things is, so I only had one brace there instead of two. You saw my thinking process there. I wonder if that dollar sign in front of it made the difference, but no, it didn't. It was the fact that I missed out a brace. Okay, so now I have treated it as if it's a dictionary, and I'm accessing the individual bits, and I get a nice bit of formatting there in my data presentation. So understand what it is that you're dealing with. Understand that you are dealing with Python data structures, and Python data structures are lists and they are movies. And if you see something in your page that looks like a Python data structure, don't ask, how do I get rid of the square brackets? How do I get rid of the quotes? But ask, how do I deal with a list? How do I deal with a dictionary? And you know how to do those things, and you understand how to do those things in Python, and so use that knowledge. So here, this goes for in Python code as well. I'm doing it here in the template, but similar issues also come up when you're writing the plain Python code as well and looking at the results that you're getting. So try and understand what the data structure is that you're handling and deal with it appropriately.